In the spirit of reconciliation, the entire team at Curious Freedom acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connection to land, waters, and community. We acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. It always was and always will be Aboriginal land. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders people listening today. I would like to acknowledge in particular the Darug people who are the original custodians on the land on which I record this podcast. Thank you for showing us what Curious Freedom can look like. Welcome to Curious Freedom Podcast with me, Kirsty Faruja, and friends. And today I have Belinda back with me today, and we are chatting about Mother's Day and what gifts you can buy for your mum or you can request for yourself if you happen to be a mum. So happy Mother's Day soon, Belinda.
Yes, happy Mother's Day soon to you too.
Do you know what you're doing for Mother's Day yet?
I have no idea. I know that it's my sister-in-law's birthday, also called Belinda. So that's cool. So we'll be celebrating her birthday, I think, with my in-laws, and my husband goes away very early on the Monday morning. So not quite sure what Mother's Day looks like just yet. I
will be on the seas for Mother's Day.
Oh, that's right, your cruise.
On an 80s cruise with my sister. So that's going to be fun. We haven't lived near our mothers this is the 13th year that we have been away from our mothers. So Mother's Day looks different to what it does for lots of people because Mother's Day is all about me. It's not about any other mothers. We make a phone call to each of our mothers and the rest of the day is all about me.
That's awesome.
And so what a perfect way to be spending Mother's Day away from my children. For me, that's the perfect Mother's Day. I love my children dearly, absolutely love them. It's also fun to not be around them for a few days. I saw this thing on Instagram that said, I don't want to have anything to do with anybody who has come out of me. Anyway, I will just not worry about it because I'm sure you've all seen it, or if you haven't, it's quite rude. So I'm not going to repeat it in case there's little ears listening. So anyway, we thought we would talk about what to buy for Mother's Day because it's coming up very quickly. Can be hard for some of us who are trying to move away from materialism into minimalism and away from the messaging that we get bombarded with every single day to buy more and to have more things in our house. So we know that that can be tricky, but we also know that we love showering people around us with our love and presence. Sometimes. So we wanted to come up with a whole list of things that you could buy for your mothers-in-law, or that you can request for yourself. So yay, we hope that this episode will help you to be more intentional this Mother's Day in what you buy and what you request if you're a mum.
So we have put a few ideas together that we think cover a lot of bases that hopefully from this list you'll be able to find something that will work for the mother in your life that you need to buy a gift for. So quickly, here are ideas. So ideas for Mother's Day gifts, vouchers, giving of your time, organising a special day, giving consumables like chocolates and flowers. Ask her what she wants. She might have something specific in mind. Going in together with others to contribute towards an experience or money towards an experience for her to choose like a show or a trip, or giving her a day off. So we'll go into each of these a little bit, give you some really specific ideas or websites you can even go to do these things. But hopefully you'll come away today feeling a little bit more prepared for Mother's Day because gift buying can be a little bit scary. I'm one of the people that love to give gifts, but I love to give like the right gift. So it can be a little bit stressful trying in the gift buying process. I love to do a lot of these kinds of things because it takes the stress out of it, and it also shows that I know what the person likes and I'm like contributing towards that. So that's how I like to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Vouchers is our number one tip and our first tip, because we think they're awesome and we use them all the time for each other and for most people we know. So it's really great because you can give options. Like for my birthday last year, my team gave me vouchers to a beautician and to City Caves. And so I got to choose what of their options that they had at City Caves. So it's not just, you're not just getting the option of one thing. You can potentially be making people have their own choices, which can be overwhelming for some people.
And for those of you that don't know what City Cave is, it's a place where you can go get like a massage or a sauna or have a float in one of those really cool float tanks. So that's what we're talking about. We both love going to City Cave.
Yes, we do. Thanks, Jamie. So many businesses, including Curious Freedom, offer gift vouchers. So if you are thinking that somebody special in your life would love to work with us, then you can always buy them a gift voucher. Please check with them first, or unless you know that they've always been asking or desiring to work to have a professional organizer declutter coach in. Because sometimes, you know, one of the tricky things about vouchers is if you buy it for somebody and then they never use it, it can be tricky. So we don't want that. We want your money to go to good use. So we offer gift vouchers, but nearly every single business that you could ever think of offers gift vouchers as well. So do you want to tell us about your beautiful mum, Vin?
Oh, yes. So my mum loves to give gifts. She loves buying gifts, all the things. Her birthday's at Christmas time, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but she's just always loved receiving and giving gifts. So when I first had kids and we started talking about maybe reducing the number of gifts they received, because we absolutely loved her generosity, but it was just too much stuff for us to cope with. So we talked about, as the kids got older, giving vouchers. So my kids will often ask for like a Big W voucher because they love buying Switch games from there, or like an EB Games voucher and things like that. So my mum has kind of slowly come around to the idea of giving vouchers because she never really saw them as a gift. She thought they were like a last minute, I can't think of anything. Whereas I've been trying to teach her that actually they're really intentional because the kids are wanting to work towards buying something. It really helps them. It's kind of like an alternative to giving cash sort of thing. And then we've actually even started giving mum vouchers as well. Like one year, I think last year for her birthday, my sister and I put together and gave her a voucher for her hairdresser, and she was very excited and proudly used it. And it was really lovely to see that she enjoyed that as an experience of a gift, as opposed to thinking it needed to be like a physical object. So that's really cool. But it is always good to actually, you know, giving a voucher to someone who has explicitly told you they don't like vouchers as gifts is probably not really a great way to honour your mum on Mother's Day. So maybe just suss that out a little bit. But as we've said, you can get vouchers for everything, like dinner vouchers, or there's a website, Red Balloon, that do all types of experiences. My best friend and I usually send each other a gift voucher for one of our favourite clothing stores online for our birthdays. And that's really great because, you know, you're texting each other images of things you want or whatever, and then on your birthday a voucher pops up, you know, oh, put it towards that pair of shoes you showed me or something like that. So it's nice. I think it's a really thoughtful gift because it shows that someone has taken notice of things that you like. So yeah, what are other kinds of things, Kirst?
Well, you also, I forgot that you guys also gave me a nail voucher.
Oh yeah, we did too.
Yeah, I got nails, City Caves, and a beautician. That's right. That was great. I love your idea of a hairdresser voucher, and I also know where you get your hair done. So
I'll write that one down.
Guess what's coming in July for you?
Awesome.
I have bought my parents, I gave them for Mum for Mother's Day or for her birthday. No, it was for her 70th birthday. I gave them an Airbnb voucher.
Oh, perfect.
Or maybe it was a bookings.com voucher so that they could choose somewhere that they could go, and they could, again, tip in more money if they needed to. tiny homes. There's heaps of tiny home websites as well. So there's like Into the Wild Escapes, which I've given a few people them, but Unyoked and Tiny Away. We'll link to all of these in the show notes. Won't you, Belinda?
Yes, I will. I'm taking notes.
Uber Eats, we've given to staff as well. Uber Eats is fun. And Amazon, I love getting Amazon gift vouchers as well, because then I can buy more books for my Kindle on it. Kindle. But maybe you want to buy your mum a Kindle, which is a great physical gift that you could give somebody who loves reading if they do like the idea of reading on a machine, because you, Belinda, love reading physical books, and
I do.
I would never get you a Kindle, even though I think it's the best invention.
Yeah. See, my mother-in-law loves reading too, and we usually give her a book most occasions, birthday, Mother's Day, things like that. But she also has a Kindle, so she loves both. So
yay. So we'd love for you to come into our Facebook group this week. It's Facebook. It's called the Curious Freedom Community. You can find it in the show notes here or on our website. There's a link to it as well. And we would love for you to come in and tell us your favourite voucher that you've ever received and what it was for. So that would be cool. Then we can share more ideas for presents for Mother's Day that way too.
Yep, absolutely. So moving on to our next idea, time. So giving your time. You know, we're all so busy and rushing around, and life has jumped right back into busyness. So being able to give the gift of time, whether that's taking time to spend with your mum or doing something for her to give her time to just have time and space and rest and do something that she loves that she doesn't normally like to do. So that could look like spending quality time together. Could be take her out for breakfast or a coffee, or just spend time to hang out with her. Is there something she loves to do? Maybe she loves to spend time in the garden. So maybe doing that together, or taking some chores off her plate, so you actually do them for her or with her. So more with quality time. Maybe you could go on some errands with her. So just keep her company, and you've got all those moments of little interactions and connection, and you're with her while she's doing stuff. And that can be really meaningful for people that just really enjoy doing things with others, or just sitting down and having a cup of tea together. So there's some great ways that you can use the gift of time for your mum this Mother's Day.
The next idea that we had is to organise a special day for her, or evening, but special time for her. So maybe you could take her to high tea. Maybe you could take her on a picnic. The kids and Simon gave me a gift from Amazing Co. Again, we'll put links in the show notes for you. And they have all these really fun treasure hunt picnics. So maybe you could do that with your mum. So I know the one that we did was all around Paddington area, I think, in Sydney, somewhere. It was in the city. And we had to go to different stores to get items for our picnic. And then we got to sit down and have the picnic. So that was super fun, interactive, adventurous type of picnic. And then there's heaps of picnic companies now that can do those beautiful grazing platters and elaborate picnics. So maybe you could organise for your whole family, your whole extended family, to do that for your mum. You could take her to a show. You could take her on a drive if she likes driving. I love going for a drive. My children do not like going for a drive. So it's clearly not a present they'll be giving me. But if my mum liked driving, which she does, and she doesn't mind being driven around, then I could do that for her. You could take her to an art gallery or take her on an adventure. Do something special that you know that she would really enjoy doing, and make a day of it, and involve other family members if that is your thing.
Yeah, they all sound awesome. I'm getting ideas for myself here. The next idea we had was consumables. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Things like chocolates, flowers, her favorite tea, her favorite coffee, some kind of fancy pasta. I'm not quite sure what that one means, Kirsty. Sorry.
Oh, like, you know, when you can get hampers or like things that you wouldn't buy for yourself, that
Yeah.
that your family, your mum wouldn't spend $15 on a bag of pasta, but you can. And, you can make a hamper of it, even like buy some really
Yeah.
fancy passata, some, canapes, make it that she wouldn't normally spend money on, like maybe get her a spread of yummy cheeses, the things that we wouldn't normally, that isn't in our budget every week to be buying. Go and buy something really fancy and tell her to use it. Because, I don't know about you, Ben,
Yeah.
but do you ever get those hampers and you're like, oh, this is so special, I've got to wait until I get a special time.
Yeah, save it for a special occasion.
Yeah, and
That
then
never
you look
happens.
and you never find that special time. So
Yeah.
maybe encourage her to eat it that day.
Yeah, explicitly, this is the special occasion to use this. Yeah,
Yes.
awesome. Thank you. And we've also put here things that like group presents. So putting together with other siblings or other family members to give maybe a larger gift that you wouldn't normally be able to do just yourself. So things like a trip away or a show. You can do cooking classes, art classes, dance classes, all those kinds of things. I know for Christmas one year for my in-laws, my husband's one of 3, so we all put together some money and we gave it to them. They love going to shows. So they're very social. They love going out. So we were like, here, go see Hamilton, go put this towards a show that you would love to do. And that was great because it wasn't a voucher, so it didn't have an expiry date, and it meant that they could use it however they wanted towards whatever. So it was like with an intention of towards a show, but they could have used it for whatever. They loved it, and they did actually go and see Hamilton, and it was really lovely to kind of be like, oh, we were a part of that happening. So that was a well-received gift, I think.
And then you can even combine some of these things. So you could do a voucher like to Ticketmaster or paint and sip classes. So you can do the art, combine them. So especially now in Australia, I don't know about elsewhere in the world, but in Australia, gift vouchers don't expire now for 3 years. So that doesn't mean that we still don't go into people's homes and find gift vouchers that have expired. But maybe one of the good things about doing a class is that you could buy it for yourself and your mum. Or if you're asking for it, ask for 2 so that you can take your bestie with you or you can take your partner with you, so that there's more incentive to get it done and to use the voucher, because it's, most people, for most things like this, enjoy doing it with other people. Most people. And so I know for me, Simon's birthday is coming up. So we get Mother's Day and then quickly after it is Simon's birthday. And so I always have to remind myself in May, actually, this is also Simon's month. It's not just all about me. And so the other day I was saying to Ollie is really into cooking with Simon at the moment. Every night they're cooking dinner together and Simon's passing on all of his amazing knowledge to Ollie, and it's a great way for them to spend some time together, and they're really bonding over that. And so I said to Ollie, how about we get for Dad a cooking class that you could both go to? What about doing French cooking or learn a pastry class or do something fun for his birthday, so that he can continue to bond over this growing love of food that Ollie has got. So I think I may have said it to Simon and he was like, I've got other things on my list as well. Which leads us nicely into our next point, Belinda.
Yes, is ask her what she wants. I know there's this thing where it almost feels like you need to just come up with the idea and give it as a surprise, and you can't ask the person because it makes it less special. But I would just challenge you to maybe think about that, because if you're buying a gift for someone, you want to get them what they want. And what's the best way to get them what they want is to actually ask them what they want. Some people may not have an idea, and that's okay. But I think it's just, it's a great idea to just say, hey, what do you want? Instead of, buying them something like a voucher or a gift or food or something like that. And they're like, oh, I actually don't like this, and becomes all awkward and hard. So there's nothing wrong with actually saying, hey, Mum, what do you want for Mother's Day? The answer could be, I have no idea. And that's where we've given you a list of things you can then choose from to get something for them. But what I find the most meaningful about receiving gifts is it shows the person knows me. And the way they can know me is by asking me what I would like and taking note of that. So just ask. She may actually have, like Kirsty, have actually exactly what she'd like to do for that day, or something that she's been looking at but hadn't actually said anything. And, oh, hang on, I've been eyeing off this particular something. I'd love contribution towards that. So, yeah, we just encourage you to ask her what she wants.
Yes. Probably the least favorite present I've ever got from Simon was a surprise present, and he was so excited about it, and he gave it to me, and I was like, excellent. I did not like it. But he was so excited, and if he had asked me if that's what I wanted, I would have said, not so much. Like, spend our money elsewhere, please, on something else. So it's always fun to get something that you don't actually like. Not. Our last idea is a day off.
Yeah.
Mums all around the world, for even not on Mother's Day, would love a day off.
Yeah.
And so providing that to them.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean just them not doing anything. It means them not having to think about things or make decisions, because there's two aspects to mumming, I guess you could call it, is you're doing all the things, but you're also thinking about things and making the decisions, and that carrying that mental load aspect. So a day off, ideally, I think would look like mum not having to actually make those decisions. It's one thing to be sitting there with a cup of tea and reading a book or relaxing in a way that your mum loves, but still having to be like, oh yeah, this is what I've come up with for dinner, or this is what needs to happen. Just nothing. Day off. They don't need to be needed by anyone. I think that's what I'll be asking for this Mother's Day.
I know. Really? Kind of getting that vibe in.
Yes.
The decisions I'll be making on Mother's Day is, do I sit by the pool? Is it warm enough to sit by the pool? Or should I go dancing to 80s band chantees?
That's
or
awesome.
do we book in for a restaurant, or do we just go to the food hall first? And which cocktail would I like to drink today?
That's excellent. And I love that you've already thought about those.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's already planned so that literally I don't have to think on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Well, we hope that this has been helpful to you for thinking, either for yourself, for you to request of your beloved people who want to give you a gift on Mother's Day, or for yourself, for the mothers in your life.
Yeah.
So that we've taken a little bit of that mental load off by giving you a whole list of things to do. And again, if you would like a gift voucher from Curious Freedom for yourself, or for your mother or mother-in-law or mother figure in your life, then just pop an email to hello@curiousfreedom.com.au, and we do virtual sessions. So this is for everybody in the world. We know that North America and the Northern Hemisphere don't celebrate Mother's Day on this day, but here in Australia we do on is it the
14th of May?
The 14th of May.
It's the second Sunday in May.
Doesn't tell me the date though, because that changes every year.
It does, which is why sometimes it is my sister-in-law's birthday and sometimes it's not.
Yes.
So if you have a question for us, or something you just want to tell us about, or share your experience, maybe you've had a really cool decluttering breakthrough moment or a light bulb moment, and you would love us to hear your actual voice, then you can jump on over to our website on the podcast page, and there should be a button there that will link you to SpeakPipe, and you can leave us a voicemail message and we can answer it, we can play it, and it would just be so cool to hear your voices. So please jump over and do that.
What I love about the podcast medium is that you and I, when I listen to podcasts, I feel like I know the podcast hosts, like they're my bestie, even if they're Dax Shepherd or some other really, really famous person, because I know so much about them. I feel that they should know me too, even though they wouldn't know me from bar of soap. And so that's what we love about SpeakPipe, is that we can get to know you because we can hear your beautiful voice, and we can get podcast ideas from you, or if you've got a question and enough people give us questions, then we can play them and just do a whole episode, questions and answers. Or you can just give us a review on there and we can play it or not play it. So let us know if you don't want it to be played on air for everybody else to hear. But it's always, always good to get to know you. So that is one way we can do that. And the other way, as we've mentioned already, is that you can come over to our Facebook community and join the fun and games that happen over there, because that's another great way of getting to know you. Anything else you'd like to add, Belinda?
I don't think so. I think that's it. So yeah, we hope you have fun buying for Mother's Day. We hope that we've given you a good list of things to go off that mean you're not adding to the amount of stuff that your mum has in her home, but still giving her a lovely gift and showering her with all the love that you can imagine.
Yay. Well, it's been lovely being in your ears this week, and we can't wait to do it again next week. So until then, see you later.